Nike EU made a huge mistake loading pairs of the April SBs on the back end. In doing so, they allowed sneaker resellers to buy these shoes early and for a discount. James Whitner was named in a $32 million international money laundering backdoor scandal. We're going to be getting more Travis 1 lows next year. All of these stories and many more in this week's Sneaker Wrap. Hello everybody, it is me, Jordan Young, aka Sneakernomics, back with another certified hood classic. Let's start off by talking about some of the biggest sneaker drops that went down this week. One of the big ones was the Saucony Grid Shadow 2 J-Tips collab. These debuted at ComplexCon and came out on the J-Tips website yesterday. They sold out quickly, something like 8 minutes. We also had the Air Jordan 3 Fears, which sold out here, at least on the Nike Sneakers app. You guys in the US also had the Amamanier release of the Dusk and the Dawn Air Jordan 5s. I've seen a lot of people come up not only through the raffle, but also through the website release, suggesting that Whitner's Chinese plug has potentially been apprehended. We are going to talk a little bit more about that story in the news, but feel free to let me know if you guys came up on this pair. But if you're anything like me, you probably would have spent most of your week sifting through the sales. The sales are dangerous. They lure you into this false sense of security where you kind of feel like the more money you spend, the more money you save. But the more money you spend, the more money you spend. I did nonetheless come up on some really awesome sneaker steals that I'll be looking forward to sharing with you guys next week. Feel free to let me know your best sneaker steal from this week's Black Friday deals down below. Speaking of Black Friday deals, we saw a couple of pretty wicked come-ups. You guys might have seen this guy who at work managed to win a pair of What the Dunks for free. This was on the GOAT app. I tried maybe a couple of years ago on one of the Black Friday specials that they had and just found it to be a grandiose waste of time. But this year, this guy won the What the Dunks. Another dude managed to pick up the Off-White Chicagos for like something crazy like $5 or $10. And so maybe this was just one of those years that you just had to be on the app and all about it, because people have come up big time on some of these wins. What do you guys think of all this? All right, so let's talk about this news. The biggest story this week has undoubtedly been James Whitner being named in this crazy big international scandal. It involves money laundering and backdooring. I actually made a video about it if you guys want to go and check it out in a little bit more depth. It involves Whitner essentially backdooring Nike product, selling it to a contact in China who used a broker to pay Whitner with money procured from what can only be described as nefarious activities. Rules were broken in respect of these monetary transactions. The IRS are involved, and the money being introduced into the banking system has constituted the laundering allegations. Suffice to say, Whitner's reputation has been tarnished immensely from this. However, not to the point where the Amamanier 5 release has been postponed or anything. This release went down on the website this week with a lot of people taking W's, prompting some chin scratching. People are maybe thinking his Chinese contact has been caught and he can't backdoor a lot of this product out to China, so a lot more people got dubs than they would normally. My favorite comment on all of this had to be this one right here. You see, the Whitaker Group issued a statement claiming their innocence and saying that this is all just a big misunderstanding basically. And someone commented underneath, make a 3-minute video explaining your innocence. Reminiscent of the post that Whitner and the Whitaker Group had made last year requesting people to make a video about themselves to enter into a raffle for shoes. I thought that was quite funny. There are no more details at the moment on this case. It is a developing story and it will probably get dragged out for some time, but make sure you guys are subscribed to me here and following me over on IG so I can keep you updated. Early pairs of the April SBs were copped via Nike on sale. This despite the fact the shoes aren't even set to come out for another week. Basically, Nike EU had loaded pairs on their back end, something to the tune of 2,500 pairs. This was a mistake. These pairs were supposed to be loaded up on the 27th. Monitors got a hold of this information and leaked it out to sneaker groups, who then instructed their members to go into Nike physical locations across Europe, tell the sales clerk that they wanted to buy the specific shoe, gave them the SKU code, asked for the shoes to be delivered, and these orders were actually processed. Kicker to this whole story is the fact that this week has been a cyber week. So these dudes that were going into Nike were actually able to put a discount code on these shoes. So not only did they get these SBs, which are going to be going for up to $300 on the resale market, but they got them early, a week ahead of the release date, and they got them on sale. Absolutely crazy error from Nike, but you can't knock the hustle of the people that were quick on the trigger trigger finger and able to scoop them up. It does, however, mean that the Nike sneakers EU release is going to be comprised of about 5 or 6 pairs. All right, so let's talk about some new sneakers coming out soon. I want to start off with these. We had some first looks at the Nike Book 1 Moss Point. 150 bucks, no date for the release on these. And this colorway looks pretty clean, to be fair. It's based on an Air Force One. I do think the D-Book 1 is probably one of the cooler NBA SIGs out there at the moment. What do you guys think of these? We've got a new colorway of the Air Force One Low Fragment collab. Guys, remember it was last week or the week before we talked about the white colorway, and now we're getting images of a, guess what? Black colorway. Same sort of features. Got the fragment engraving on the midsole, the fragment stamp on the rear heel quarter. And in classic fragment style, the design is incredibly minimalistic. Minimalistic to the point where you don't even know what's actually been done. These are pretty average in my opinion, but probably set to fetch $500–600 on the resale. What do you guys think? We've had some official images of the Nike Kobe 6 Reverse Grinch. These are set to come out on the 16th of December, 180 bucks. I actually think there might be some kind of shock drop coming out this week for you guys over there in the US. Could be wrong about that, but it's a pretty cool colorway. Although, to be honest, I much prefer the original Grinch. More Travis Scott Jordan 1 lows are potentially on the way next year. The color blocking is quite similar to the OG Mocha pair, and the colorway is being called the Black Olive. No official images or anything like that. These are just mock-ups at this point, but if this colorway were to drop, I've got to say they are really nice and would definitely be incredibly hype. What do you guys think about these? Patta and New Balance are dropping a 991 V2 in December. Coming out on the first price point I don't have handy, but I think they'll be pretty expensive. There's a couple of colorways, a Pickled Beets colorway and a Sea Moss colorway. These are going to be dropping initially on the patta.nl website, and then they'll be wheeled out later on December the 8th in a more widespread fashion. They're kind of nice, they're kind of clean, but they're also kind of forgettable. Can't say I'm overly enthused about these. There are other sneakers for sure on my radar I'd prefer to go after than these, but what do you guys think? Sacai and Nike are back with another collaboration, this time on the magmascape. These are going to be dropping on the 7th of December, and this is an outdoor inspired collaboration that combines the Air Footscape and the Air Magma, and it's coming out in 3 pretty captivating color schemes. You have a black and a pecan and a varsity royal. $200, so it's a pretty hefty price point, but I've got to say they do look pretty cool. They look like they'd be pretty handy for the winter. Also had some official images of the undefeated Nike Air Terra Humara. 170 bucks, dropping in December. 2 colorways, the first just black and the second in an Archeo brown colorway. Both feature some pretty cool materials. You got some suede, some rubber, some leather, corduroy. Really cool, interesting looking upper on these, I gotta say. We've had some really detailed looks at Diorr Greenwood's Nike SB Dunk High Decon. 145 bucks, no dates of release on these as yet. But these are pretty cool, man. It's a collab that fuses skateboarding, art, and indigenous heritage. Greenwood, who is a multidisciplinary artist, was born and raised on the Navajo Reservation in northeastern Arizona and is a skater herself. The shoe touches on some Navajo cosmology themes. It's not just a shoe, according to the description here. It's a narrative about identity, tradition, and the stars that guide us. Pretty cool shoe, pretty cool storytelling. We have a New Balance set to come out in 2024. It is the 1906 U, and pretty much looks like just your regular old New Balance. Nothing novel new, just a new kind of mashup. Obviously drawing heavy from the 1906R, which has been popping off massively the last couple of years. The main difference includes some innovative paneling and enhanced branding details. Got a multi-textured upper featuring various leather panels that embellish the toe area, additional paneling on the midfoot. And one of the inaugural colorways for this model is the shoe you can see here, the bone and multicolored release, which, to be fair, does look really nice. I like this color palette. I do like the shape of the shoe. And if it's anything like the 1906R and the 2002R, which are both 2 of my favorite New Balance models, I would be in the market to try these. What do you guys think of these? The OG Air Jordan 9 Powder Blue returns in 2024. Yeah, this is the first time we've seen this shoe since 2010. And these are probably, I want to say, like top 3 Jordan 9 colorways. And these are set to drop on the 23rd of March for for 210 bucks. The Jordan Spizikes Low are going to feature as part of the Year of the Dragon collection, and this colorway and this model I think are really nice. No firm dates as yet for the release. Not sure if these are going to come out at the same time as the One Lows towards the end of January, but 170 bucks. They look really nice. One of the most celebrated Nike Air Max 1 collabs of all time could be getting a remake next year. That's right, Patta might make the Air Max 1 chlorophyll again. If you're not down with the story, the Air Max 1 chlorophyll, which came out in 2009, is for most Air Max 1 collectors like one of the Air Max 1 holy grails. They go for crazy money on the resale market, as you can imagine. And according to Air Max obsessed page Bubble Cope, an Air Max 1 covered in chlorophyll / matte silver by Patta will release by fall 2024. No speculative mock-ups or breakdowns of the color blocking have been provided as of yet. We do have a SKU number, and the rumors are we could be seeing an inversion of the predecessor. We've also been seeing some rumors on the circulation around another Nike and Corteiz collab, this time on the Nike Air Huarache trainer. A couple of mock-ups have been doing the rounds, but interestingly enough, Clint, the owner of Corteiz himself, posted quite conspicuously a cap underneath one of these posts, suggesting that this might not actually be the case. So who do we believe? The sneaker pages that are putting these rumors out there, or the owner of the brand? Also saw this kind of heartwarming story that definitely restored a little bit of faith in the delivery driver community with respect to sneakers, where this guy actually had his DMP or Gratitude 11s opened up and then taped back together. And then apparently the driver asked the guy to open up the package and make sure everything was good and in it before he left. Bro didn't just leave his package there. Very cool touch, very good to see. We also caught a glimpse of some pretty cool sneakers that will not at least be available to the likes of you and me. We saw the Travis Scott Jordan 1 reverse mocha, or the bread mocha in sample form. We also got to see the friends and family April SB Dunk Lows on foot. This pink pair is pretty cool, but I'm quite happy that we are getting what we are getting. Right, so these are some sneakers coming out this week that you might want to keep an eye out for. First of all, on the 27th here in the UK, you have the sneakers release of the April SBs, which, as I mentioned before, are probably going to have about 10 pairs available. Skate shop raffles have pretty much been doing the rounds here. I think there's a few left here in the UK as I speak to you now, but this is being tipped as one of the hottest SBs of the year, so don't think this is going to be an easy cop. We also have the release of the Photon Dust colorway of the Amamanye 5s here in the UK on the Nike Sneakers app, and I think that should also be the case for you guys over there in the US. And then on the 2nd of December, next week, you have the Soulfly 8s. I would keep an eye on the Soulfly website as well as your other normal retailers for raffle info about this pair. 225 bucks though. Pretty cool shoe and a pretty cool week. April SBs, Amamanye 5s, and the Soulfly 8s. Those are the hot picks. Good luck if you are going for any of these, and if you are, let me know. And that is it for this week's sneaker wrap. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch the video. Make sure you guys like the video before you bounce, and drop a comment down below and let me know what you thought, and I will see you guys on the next video. Take care for now, and peace.